If you guys aren't really a fan, before I get into this story, by the way, welcome back to Junior Mints, like JR Mints, you know. If you guys aren't really a fan of vomiting stories and stuff, you might want to click away, only because this story that I'm about to tell you has a little bit of vomiting in it. So let me premise it by saying that alcohol is fun, but only you don't need to hear me say this. So I was drinking with one of my friends. I'm not gonna say who, but he knows who he is. So we decided to get a little drunk, a little glunky drunk, you know what I'm saying? But so we did, right? And so he bought the cruise. It was cruisin' rum, which it's not the worst rum in the world, but I definitely prefer other alcohols. But anyway, I'll get to the point. So we're drinking, right? And we're having a good old time. And we make the stupid decision to say, hey, let's aim for this number of shots. And I'm going to leave it undisclosed because I don't want to say how many we did. But let's just say it was quite a few. It was a little too much, if you ask me. So we had a goal to reach. And we wanted to reach it. So we were just there having a good old time. It was nice. Then when the shot number got to a certain amount, I'm not going to say what the amount is or was. We were both, to say the least, gone, if you will. So for the munchies that I love to eat when I drink, they include one of three things: some sort of chip, like chips or something, Sour Patch watermelons, and maybe something else. So in this case, I had chips, Sour Patch watermelons, and a chocolate bar. So that alone, that combo, probably not the best combo to go with rum. So anyway, we're just drinking there. We get to an undisclosed amount of shots. I'm not going to say the number, but it was a lot. So after the shot, the last shot I do, I'm sitting there on the couch on a chair downstairs, right? And I'm just spacey because when I get drunk, I get really spacey, and I just space out, you know. So when I drank that last bit and I was just sitting there, I was kind of I wasn't really feeling anything, right? But then the next millisecond after that, I'm sitting there, right? And then all of a sudden, so you know how whenever you drink or something, you drink a little too much and you start blipping out, you start jump cutting. It kind of feels like you're jump cutting from shot to shot. That's what it felt like for me. I was drinking and then it's just boop, boop, boop. So as I was sitting in the chair, go back to the present moment, I was sitting in the chair, and next thing I know, I jump cut, whatever, over to the sink, and my head was in the sink. And I guess you can put two and two together, and let's just say I lost my meal from that day, and meals and stuff. So it was terrible. And I thought, so next thing I know, when I'm at the sink the first time, keep in mind there's another time I did, but I'll get to that in a second. When I get to the sink a second time, the first time, I think oh shit, I have to puke. And so I did, and so then I go back down to my I go back to my seat, which is maybe 15 feet across the room, not even. And I sit there for a little bit longer, and I just sit there. And so my friend is he's not still drinking, but we were on the same level of just drunkenness, right? And I suddenly have to apparently barf again. So I run over to the sink, and I barf again. So I'm my stomach is literally empty at this point. And I come back, and my friend that was with me, he opens the door to the apartment, to the dorm that I was in, and apparently he vomited on the porch, just right there in front of the door for everyone to see. And I'm like, oh my God. So I don't remember anything because I was basically blackout drunk. We have different definitions of blackout drunk. That was mine. So the next morning, actually before I get to the next morning, I pack up all my crap from that night. So whenever I drink with a buddy or whatever, I'm in a room, like my house or something, I always clean up my stuff because I don't want to seem like that drunk that's I forgot my stuff downstairs. I don't want to leave shit downstairs. So I clean up all my crap, and I go to So I take my crap upstairs and I put it like somewhere in this room. I don't remember where, but I put all my crap away, and then I'm lying in my bed. Like, I think it was actually right here, and that was after my friend left, and he cleaned up, I think. So after he left, something was off. Like, something was missing. Like a possession that I had was missing, or it felt missing. So then I Snapchatted my friend the next morning after I went to sleep, and I Snapchatted him. Like, you know how Snapchat, you can like slide over to the, I think it's the right or the left, I don't know. You can like slide over and it's like chat, and you can like type stuff. I Snapchatted him and I was like, I don't actually. I said, what did I say? I said something to the extent of, I'll be honest with you, I don't know where my shot glass is. Like my shot glass that I had. Turns out, when I went down to the kitchen the next morning, I opened a little cupboard above the fridge, and it was right there. So I had no recollection of taking my shot glass, putting it up in the cupboard, closing it, and then going up to sleep. Whoops. So it gets better, and by that I mean it doesn't get better, but this is kind of the tail end of the story. So the next morning I'm going to take care of my dog back at home because my parents were out of town. So I go to my dog, I take care of him, I give him his food and crap. I then get a text from my roommate. My roommate texts me and he goes up, but he said something to the extent of, when I got home last night there was a present odor, and then there was an appearance of vomit in the sink. But get this, he also said there was an appearance of vomit on the cupboard below the sink. And I'm like, that's me, isn't it? That's not, I don't know. And I just go, I'm sorry, bro, I got you. Which I thought I made it into the sink. But turns out when I got back, it was like dripping. It wasn't like everywhere, but it was just like little drips. It was disgusting. So, and also when I went to the sink, sorry if this grosses you guys out, but I went to the sink and there was chunks of Sour Patch watermelon in the sink. Oh God. Luckily, thank God I cleaned the sink, because I'm not that guy that goes to make a mess and then just leave it. I try to clean up after myself. So I did. Anyway, so at that point I made it like a priority of mine to only drink on occasion. Like, I'm turning 22 in a couple weeks, which is crazy, so I'm probably gonna drink then. And then another friend of mine has a birthday coming up that I'm gonna drink for. But I'm not gonna do what I did last time and just, no. I have to have a purpose to drink. But even then. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that little story. I'm sorry if it grossed you guys out. It was just one of those stories that I had to tell you. And yeah, we will see you guys next time. This has been your host, Finnmints. Thank you for listening to Junior Mints, and we'll see you guys next time. See ya.